Okay, we were just Chrissy was just about to answer that question. Basically, do you think Olga will participate on the new album?
We don't have any plans to invite anybody onto the album to guest vocally. It's something we've not really thought about. We both tend to do all of the backing vocals, and I guess there's a lot of focus on our voices together anyway, because we're not just you do sing too.
Oh
So
yeah,
it
yeah.
You're an
feels like
orchestra.
we are the
We are the
orchestra.
orchestra.
Yeah, we are
Yeah.
the orchestra and we're the choir.
Well, that's part of the fun, I think. Not just the fun, but I think that's part of what we are. Uh, Being two people in complete control of the sound that we create. I'm not saying that we never will invite anybody else to join us
It's
because
just something we've
that
not
could
thought about.
that could happen, but it's not something that we don't see ourselves as being two people and then can kind of needing the help of other people to make our sound complete. I think we want to be complete within ourselves, and whatever that sounds like, that's how
Yeah.
we sound.
I mean, that's again, that's not saying no, we're never going to do any of that. It's just we just don't have plans for that. Maybe, I think if we were going to invite people in, it's probably going to be more like string players, like
Yeah,
things that we don't tend to play ourselves, like brass and strings.
exactly.
Even though, we do attempt uh bowing guitars and things, but
Yeah,
again, it's not really something we've not really thought about it, have we? But it's something to think about.
we're
But we
quite
both
kind of,
enjoy
you know,
insular.
yeah, I think we are. I think we are. Yeah, maybe that's not so healthy. I don't know. Feels
Sure
healthy.
it's
I
Yeah,
guess
no, if
I
it's
like
working,
just being you and me and making all the music that we can out of what we can do together. I kind of like that.
And we have Glenn who we work with in the studio, so we do have a little triangle in the studio,
Yeah,
which is nice. And it feels like it's quite a small space that we work in, and it feels like it just holds the three of us and our energy really
yeah.
well. And there's this really good dynamic that
It's a great
happens.
dynamic, the three of us. Yeah, Glenn is in a way is our kind of silent contributor and sometimes our referee when we
The
disagree.
meeting.
Yeah, he's a mediator. Yeah, he's a very
hopefully,
difficult
yeah.
mediator. He's
Referee's a little strong. No, I'm kidding.
Oh no,
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 but
it's not strong at all. Well, it should
sometimes
be.
you need
Right?
that. Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
I
we've had some fun, but
Time
absolutely
out, kids.
understand.
Time out. You stand over there. You stand over there.
There's
yeah.
times you need that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to tell us what the name of the next album is, or also maybe a release date?
We don't have either of those to share with you at the moment, I'm
We have a
afraid.
couple of potential names which we're not going to disclose, but we're still chewing this over.
Yeah,
We've recorded 4 songs. I mean, ideally
four
there's
and a
going
half.
to, yeah, 4.5, correct. Ideally there's going to be 12, maybe 13. So we're about a third the way into the album. I must say, the first 4 tracks in Bloodlines is one of them, of course. We feel extraordinarily excited. I must admit, it's a really good start. We're feeling very, very upbeat about what we've done so far. The tour has taken over for the last kind of month or
Mm.
so we've not been in the studio for quite a few weeks now.
So all of that has been a little bit kind of not, yeah, it's almost like paused, isn't it, for a moment?
Yeah,
I
it
mean, we're
is.
still always thinking about it. I'm still always collecting ideas for like visuals, and we're always still thinking about it, aren't we? But
Yeah,
we're not at the stage where it's like, yes, that title is the mum of all of these
yeah.
songs. So we've had a few different hi Bash.
Hey,
Oh, welcome to Bash.
Bash wants us
all
to call
right.
it Bash.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I think album titles are quite important, and I must admit, I'd like to have an album title in the place by now because it just sort of gives the project an identity that we can refer to it as, the album. But it will be there soon. It
Yeah.
will be there very soon. It's taking great shape, as I say. So we're really looking forward to, building the rest of it and
Yeah.
releasing it.
And we're hoping later next year, but we're not going to get ahead of ourselves and say it's going to be spring, because it really definitely won't be before you.
No, I don't think it will be. We have a big spring tour. I think there's 23 dates on the spring tour booked,
Oh,
and we have an autumn tour, which at the moment I think has got about 18 dates on it. Might have a few more coming later than that. And I think that autumn tour is going to be, hopefully, the album launch tour.
Hopefully.
So that will
But
be
you
it.
never know, do you? You never know. These albums and the recording of them.
Yeah, they can take longer than you think.
Spanners can get thrown in the works and all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff. But that's our intention anyway. That's our, you know, flexible deadline.
Yeah.
Guide vocal. No, I'm kidding. To use a Genesis pun. But
Yeah.
so you did say you think 12, or you're shooting for 12 songs, because your albums do have many tracks, so there's many to enjoy.
Well, we always aim for 12. And I
Yeah.
think most people aim for 12 as being the kind of average number on an
I
album.
don't know. Prog albums can have like 4, can't they?
Well, yeah.
You know,
Well, that's
and
true. Yeah.
yeah, or 1, you know,
Yeah.
if it's really
Yeah.
so I mean, we do kind of see that, but again, it's kind of quite flexible, isn't it? But they're all written, and I
Yeah.
know that we're writing more as we go along.
Yeah.
So
It's just choosing the ones that we want to record, and
it is.
I think we'll end up with more than 12, and we'll end up maybe even reducing the ones that
We
we
usually
use.
do that, don't
We
we?
usually do that. Yeah, we usually over record and then reduce. But we shall see.
Speaking of 4-track albums, Wobbler's last one had 4 tracks, 4 fantastic tracks.
Oh,
But anyway, let's see. So we talked about the new album, and you jumped ahead of me there with the tours and those are tours for all next year. It sounds like you're not going to get a break, which is good and bad.
We will get a break. We always try and take the summer off. So the spring tour will be February, March, and part of April. Then the autumn tour is fundamentally September and October. So we do get a little bit of a window in between those 2 tours to, to do other things and to, complete this album and
yeah.
all the other things that go along with releasing an
But
album.
you're right. There's not much time in between
No,
when this
not
one
much.
finishes and when that one begins.
Yeah.
To get this stuff done.
Yeah, I know.
And of course, the holiday season's right. December, January. Because you said it starts in February again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that'll give you a little time to kick back. The one thing we didn't mention here is the 2 of them have been passing colds between each other, and you would never know it because neither of them sound like they've lost anything, and they're still out there touring, which you hand it to them. That's pretty solid. Singing like she does every night, and still
Go.
go ahead.
Oh,
What's your secret? What are you doing that others can maybe learn from to keep that energy going even when you're probably not feeling at your best?
I think the secret is just loving it, because if we didn't love it, it would be a job, and we would not want to get in the car and in the van, and we wouldn't want to do the gig, and it's just, it couldn't be more the opposite of that, could it? When we're not on tour, I'm desperate to tour, but when we're on tour, it's really hard work. I've been thinking recently, these last few gigs, I've never ever been more exhausted after a gig.
but we've been unwell too. So
we've been unwell, but I think we've been putting more and more and more into the shows. And towards the end of the show, sometimes I'm feeling like I can hardly stand up. It's just so exhausting, but it's a great feeling. It's a terrific feeling.
In sports they go, you're leaving everything on the field, and that's
yeah. But I guess, more practical terms, I'm a big fan of steaming, big fan of steaming your voice and like licorice tea and all the kind of, supporting yourself. As soon as he got sick, I was like, right, vitamin C, vitamin D, what else? What else can you do to support yourself?
On the road, we have a separate truck for all her medications that follows us around. It's just massive.
Medications for vitamins. Yeah. And a big steam room. That's a joke. Well, how amazing would that be?
You need a sauna. Yeah.
I like steam though because it's moist and voice like the water.
You do take care of yourself very well on the road. You know,
Try
the
to.
dressing room routine for you is very, very well disciplined. You know, she's very, very, very disciplined pre-show. You know what you're going to do. You're going to steam your voice. You're going to
Whilst warming up.
warm up. You're doing scales. We're doing harmonies together. We have quite a kind of a pre-gig routine in backstage in the dressing room, which is quite interesting. You know, we probably should do a video on that sometime.
Tell
You
us about it. Yeah.
know,
Yeah, get ready with the Blackheart Orchestra.
yeah, yeah.
What, well, since you mentioned that, what do you listen to your own music or do you listen to somebody else? Yeah, I didn't think so. What music do you listen to? That's an excellent, you took me down
Oh,
a good road
Um,
to get pumped
gosh.
up for your shows.
We don't tend to listen to music before we go on. It is literally a
not at all.
vocal warm up, like like you said, doing scales and things. But we do try and listen to music at other times. I'm a big Sigur Rós fan and Ludovico Einaudi and Daughter and lots of bands.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What were we talking about the other day? Who did we go and
Well,
see?
we're just listening just before this. We were listening to that fantastic
Yeah, that woman
vocalist,
from Oh
a
Wonder.
band called Oh Wonder.
And she's
Oh, yeah.
created a few like live versions of her songs and they're just really beautiful. We have quite eclectic
Yeah.
taste really. She
Yeah,
can
I Wonder are a duo, like
quite pop
not
though.
similar to us, but they're great, great act, and the girl in the band is phenomenal, and she, like you say, she's done some phenomenal videos which are really worth looking at, and she calls herself That Woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, that's a great,
And I know
you know,
Chrissy has mentioned Bad for Lashes. Do you have
yeah.
do you have the new one? I still don't have it. It's really good.
Really good.
Is
Really
it
good.
is it
Yeah.
similar to the 80s thing she did last time or completely different?
No, different. I think she's really great with what sh she creates, and this is again like a real concept album, and there's lots of instrumental moments in it, but it's really beautiful. We actually saw her not long
Mm,
ago,
mm.
and get the album. It's really
Okay.
great. I'd definitely say Dream of Delphi is great
Oh, yeah,
track
yeah.
as well. Really, really
And the show's
beautiful.
fantastic as well. It's something, again, it's just unique. I like her attitude to what she does. You know, everything she does is not based on anything that's ever existed before. You know, she takes a clean sheet of paper with every idea that she has and starts to paint on it from brand new. I really like that way of working. We try and work in that similar way, you know, that we're not kind of, you know, really based on anything or influenced by very much. And she does it magnificently. Yeah.
I think she's very, I would imagine the shows, and you tell me if I'm wrong, are similar to Bjork, very theatrical. At least that's how this one, the new one, looked like it was going to be like that. I think the video that she made reminded me. Not she's not copying anyone. I always am careful about saying that these people are all great artists in their own, but it
Mm.
has some of that Bjork kind of feeling to it. What do you think? An
Yeah,
impression?
I would agree. I mean, we've seen her twice over the last year. We saw her once with two other musicians on stage with her, and then we saw her once just her. Well, she did have a violin player with her as well,
Mhm.
and that was like like really movement orientated. It was backing tracks, there was, but she wasn't trying to pretend that she didn't have backing tracks there. It was the tracks and it was like performance art. It was
Mhm.
absolutely spectacular. I wish she'd do that one again. I wish she'd
Yeah.
tour that show again. But maybe that was just like a fleeting moment. That was a photograph of then, and now she's moved on
It'll
to
be different
something
next time,
else,
you know,
which is
and I
great.
want it to be different next
Yeah.
time, you know. Can't wait to see what she comes up with next.
Excellent. All right. Well, I think I've run out of questions, but do you have anything that you guys wanted to add or say about anything?
Just come and if anybody is watching and listening to this, just come and find us,
Yeah,
say hello.
you're very warmly
We're
invited to the shows, the albums, you know,
our Facebook, Instagram, Patreon,
all those things.
we're very welcoming.
And they're very creative, they're prolific, you're not going to see these guys stop anytime soon, and that's great. We need to hear that. Yeah, we need to see that. And I'm so happy that things are just exploding for you, because you really do deserve it.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us again and for keeping supporting
Mm,
our music and posting about it. It means a lot.
yeah.
Anything else?
No, I think it's time for our tea now.
Yeah,
You've
these
ordered some Chinese soup. So
Well, thank you very much. Like you say, stay with me for just a minute after, but thank you very much, both of you. It's always a pleasure to talk with you. And please, if you haven't heard these guys by now, where have you been? But please, the Blackheart Orchestra, just give them a listen. And I've introduced them to so many other people that are like, oh my God, I didn't know about this. Where are these guys from? And just hearing them once or twice, you're like, yeah, I want to go buy that. I got to hear more, you know. So definitely, if you haven't heard them, please give them a chance, and I think you will want to hear more. All right,
oh,
guys.
thank you.
All right,
Sorry, my dog is just like,
And
I've
here
got
he
to
is.
get in
He
here.
just wants to
Got to get in
he just
here
wants to say
before we.
bye to you.
all right. Hold on one second. I'm gonna turn off the record on here.